The N-word. We're not allowed to say it on YouTube, although I've seen a number of black commentators use it openly, seemingly without penalty. But from my supposed position of privilege as a Caucasian Australian, as I've discovered the hard way after simply quoting someone else, I'll be punished if I dare say it out loud, even if it's framed within a strictly historical or academic context. Apparently, the mere phonetic utterance of the word is deemed inherently harmful, even if I'm not using it in a derogatory way. Actually, I've been called the N-word more frequently than most would care to admit. I used to use Facebook Messenger for this channel, but then a group of people decided to spam my inbox with hundreds of daily messages calling me by that particular slur. Obviously, I found it more amusing than offensive, but unfortunately, despite repeated attempts to block them, they possessed the sheer, dedicated boredom required to churn out endless burner accounts and continue their crusade. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The N-word recently made the headlines, thank you to the viewer who sent this in, during the British Academy Film Awards, the BAFTAs, held a couple of months ago. American actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage presenting an award when somebody shouted out the N-word. No, this is not made up. The BBC reported, BAFTAs 2026, BBC apologises for not editing out racial slur shouted by guest. Yes, somebody in the audience publicly called them the N-word, much to their immediate televised shock, and the BBC kept it in, even though there was a considerable broadcast delay. But as you can see, I've done a bit of redacting myself. The guest actually had Tourette syndrome, characterised by sudden involuntary movements or sounds, so obviously he didn't mean to publicly hurl the ultimate linguistic taboo at these two unsuspecting actors. The guest in question is Scottish activist and campaigner for Tourette syndrome, John Davidson. He has since expressed his regret, though clearly the outburst was unintentional. He released a statement saying, "I'm deeply mortified if anyone considers my involuntary tics to be intentional or to carry any meaning. I've spent my life trying to support and empower the Tourette's community and to teach empathy, kindness and understanding from others, and I will continue to do so. I chose to leave the auditorium early into the ceremony as I was aware of the distress my tics were causing." BAFTA's host, Alan Cumming, made an apology during the ceremony. "Tourette syndrome is a disability, and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary. We apologise if you are offended tonight." But this apology was not enough for some people. American production designer Hannah Beachler tweeted, "I know we must handle this with grace and continue to push through, but what made the situation worse was the throwaway apology of 'if you were offended.' Of course we were offended." And there's the problem. People are choosing to take offence at words even when the lack of intent is medically clear. Mere linguistic sounds have no power to harm you unless you grant it to them. Being offended is a choice. You can either let it get to you, or you can simply acknowledge the context and move on. She's obviously gone with the predictable posture of the victim. But unsurprisingly, more American movie stars were deeply offended. The Guardian noted, "Backlash mounts to BAFTA N-word controversy as Jamie Foxx and Wendell Pierce criticise outburst." How dare a man with a lifelong disability involuntarily utter a sound that upsets the delicate sensibilities of these multi-millionaires? According to the Guardian article, Jamie Foxx commented below a post about the incident on social media saying, "Unacceptable," and "Nah, he meant that shit." Meanwhile, Wendell Pierce tweeted, "It's infuriating that the first reaction wasn't complete and full-throated apologies to Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan. The insult to them takes priority. It doesn't matter the reasoning for the racist slur." So if a toddler happened to babble the phonetic sounds of a slur by pure coincidence, would these movie stars be infuriated by that as well? Because that's essentially what these people are getting upset over, an involuntary vocalization that is completely devoid of malice or cognitive intent. And if inclusivity is absolute, then not only should we be accepting of black people, we should also be accepting of people with Tourette's, even those who involuntarily say words that upset us. If we agree that people shouldn't treat you differently and should be accepting of you regardless of your skin colour, well, shouldn't you stop being ignorant and realise that a medical tic is not a personal attack?